Topflyght TV, Mr. Topflyght Films in the building, man. What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? Hope everybody's doing well today. I'm on the road, so I decided to go live real quick. We can do a Q&A. Bring your questions, bring your comments. We can address everything. Nothing's off the table. Pardon me, y'all. Right now, I'm in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Then I'm headed to Baltimore. Work, 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 work. Getting to it, getting to it. Um, y'all know what we've been going through all week. You know it's been a very big week in the media. A lot going on, a lot of controversy. Um, a lot of this side, that side. I want to stray away from the this side, that side today, because I feel like that just goes in circles. You know what I'm saying? At some point, we need to really talk about more issues that get down to the root of the issue or the problem. You dig? So that'd be good. It's the Q&A, man. Anybody can pop in, ask a question, make a comment. Make sure it's intelligent. Make sure you got something good to say, man. Keep the racism out of my chat today. If you can help yourself, which I know you can't. But if you decide you want to say some racist stuff in the chat, I will oblige. You dig? Um, I've been having the discussion amongst this past week, and I've been talking to my people. I just left the barbershop. My barber, we had a discussion about everything that's been going on. And the consensus amongst my people really is, we tend to be compassionate people, and we don't really have an appetite for destruction. We don't really have an appetite to see people hurt and killed. And he asked me how I felt about this whole thing and how I felt about dude passing or getting shot. And in short, I just had this, just my answer is just fuck them, man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck them. Like, I felt literally nothing watching that video. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to be evil or hateful. That's just where I'm at as a 44-year-old black man in America at this point. If you feel like you need to um, propagate, if you feel like you need to promote ideas that cause harm to one group, I can't fuck with you. And I have no feelings for you. I have no remorse, no compassion. I'm a very compassionate person. Um, and I absolutely care about people as a whole. But it's just one thing about people who are pushing certain narratives that I cannot get behind. Now, a lot of people had a question. They just seem to be so stumped. How is Charlie Kirk racist? And I broke it down on my last episode, last broadcast. And today's key word is dog whistle. Okay, dog whistle. Have you all ever heard a real life dog whistle? First time I seen a dog whistle, I was a kid, and a dog whistle was like a whistle, and you blow into it, and it makes a distinct noise that dogs can understand, that dogs can pick up on. You understand? This is what Charlie Kirk was doing. He was dog whistling. All right. When you talk about racism in 2025, you have to understand it's going to be a lot of dog whistling. All right. Donald Trump does it all the time. The news stations do it all the time. They'll say shit like BLM. They'll say things like woke. You understand? These are dog whistles. These are cold words. You understand? You got to be able to decode what these people are really saying. Back in the day, the word was thug. You understand? That was a cold word for black people. Today is Black Lives Matter. That's like a cold word for black people. I was listening early and I found something to be interesting. There was 17% of black people that were a part of Black Lives Matter. Did y'all know that? It was like 41% of Black Lives Matter was made up of Caucasian people. I think 17% was made, the 20 something percent was made up of Latinos, and then 17% of black people made up Black Lives Matter. That was very interesting to me because when they talk about Black Lives Matter, you think they're talking about black people, in which they're really not. But the code word, a nice little pleasant word, which is a dog whistle, okay? Gotta watch out for that goddamn dog whistle. When you see people up here talking about black people need to stop sleeping around, black people are destructive, things of that nature, this is to sway your perception on black folks. Not only will it sway your perception, but you'll hear it over here on these platforms. Then you'll click on Instagram and you'll see people fighting. You'll see people shooting. You'll see nothing but degenerate black behavior in the black community. And that's by design. I want everybody to understand that is by design. The algorithms, once you click one fight video, right? Next thing you know, it's going to be a bunch of fight videos. You understand? And I'm very big on talking about the causes of what we see now, man. And I absolutely understand what goes on in the community. It does need to be brought to attention. I'm not one of these people that deny accountability amongst my group, but I'm not going to talk about it one-sided. It's a lot of coons out here. It's a lot of black faces that want white acceptability. And what is happening more than ever is people are posting black people that are siding with white supremacy and acting like that's okay. That makes it better. And it just does not make it better. You can have a Candace Owens, you can have an Officer Tatum, you can have a Jesse Lee Peterson, you can have all of these characters. Just because they're dark-skinned or they're black people doesn't mean they're correct. It doesn't mean that they're not fighting for white supremacy. They're tools, you understand? And they'll do a lot of dog whistling as well. When you see these type of people, understand that they're just tools. And when they are done with their tools, what do? They break them and they throw them away. So all these coons running around here acting like they're gonna get some sort of invite to the golf course, right? These niggas want to invite to the country club. They're not getting any type of perks. They're not gonna get any type of benefits from throwing their people under the bus. I just had a situation with somebody I know, and he was posting all kind of memes and stuff degrading black people. Mind you, he's a black dude. And I told dude, I said, dog, look, I don't rock with no coon shit. Good luck to you. I can't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. And I don't want nothing to do with them at all. Because people like that, what they'll do is they'll creep into your life. These will be the people that try to talk to your girlfriend. These will be the people that steal from your home. These are untrustworthy people. And they're not worthy in my circumference. Crow said, is this the begging guy? No, you've never seen me beg, my man. I don't beg for shit. You dig? So yeah, man, you gotta be very aware of the coons, be very aware of the dog whistles. You dig? I had another conversation today, and I had to tell somebody that racism does not mean that somebody doesn't like you or won't hang out with you. You dig? You can hang out, racists will hang out with you. That doesn't mean that they don't like black people. You know what I'm saying? A racist is not somebody that doesn't like a black person. A racist is somebody that will uphold white supremacy. They'll deny the history that has happened here, right? This is what is going on right now. What's going on right now is, as we know, people trying to rewrite history. They're trying to take memorabilia out of the schools and out of the museums, and they want to create a land where the dominant society, pardon me, is the end all be all. You see with the freedom of speech thing, right? The freedom of speech thing They're saying, listen, Charlie Kirk is allowed to say what he wants to say. These people over here are allowed to say what they want to say. But when it comes to you, we better not catch you saying what you want to say. Okay? Or we're gonna get you fired from your job. And we're going to jot your name down and we're gonna dox you and we're gonna do all these things to you. And I explained to y'all the other day, that's just not the American way. That's not what true patriots do. You understand? So today is a Q&A, man. Anybody want to come in here and ask a question? If you're confused about racism, if you're confused about what's going on in the mainstream media, please ask your question. I'm here to carry the message. That's my job. My job is to carry the message, dog. People ask me, what do I do to help my community? This is one thing I do to help I carry a message. You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody should have some sort of uh, message that they carry to the next person to teach, because somebody taught me. You know what I'm saying? Some of these scholars and some of these people I listen to, they taught me history, and they showed me where to find certain things to look up for history. And I think it's important that everybody, because they want to erase this history. You dig? So let's see. Corey McCoy said, thank you, my brother, for getting up on here and doing this. I hope young brothers and sisters find your channel. I hope so too, man. Shout out to you. See, I was thinking yesterday, Charlie Kirk was groomed from the age 17. And that was brilliant. That's a brilliant move on their part. They took this man and they groomed him and they put him in these think tanks and they put him on these platforms because they want to raise him up to push their agenda. And I think that we should do the same thing. We need to find some brilliant young men, because the youth is the future. We need to find some brilliant young men that not go, no, when we do it, we're not going to have anybody go lie. You know what I'm saying? They brought Charlie up for an agenda, a deceptive agenda. What we need right now is young men and women, because this current leadership on both sides is just not, it's not it. It's they're gonna fry here very soon. So we need a young person to come up and just be honest, and you know what I'm saying, and be fair and be righteous. Let's get these comments, man. XQCC said this man is a liar. He said this man only preaches hate and ignorance. Patriot Watcher said Charlie didn't lie. He started Turning Point when he was 18. No, listen, I understand what happened with Turning Point. I'm aware of his history. He was picked up when he was 17. He was given $4 million. I need to do a breakdown on the man who came and got him. They gave him $4 million to pretty much go around and talk about the free market. And from what I understand, that didn't work out too well. And the next thing you know, they started Turning Point. You understand? Patriot Watcher said Charlie was 100% honest. Okay, I know you have drank the Kool-Aid. No problem, my brother. We know you drink the Kool-Aid. We understand that you bought this shit hook, line, and sinker. We already know. But let me ask you, and I want you to give an intelligent answer, because this is a very easy answer, an easy question. Why did Charlie Kirk, amongst a lot of his lies, but one lie in particular, he said that Trayvon Martin hunted George Zimmerman? That is a lie. You know that's a lie. Why would he lie about that? If you said he's so honest. Patriot Watcher, that's for you. Listen, I'm very informed, my man. I'm very informed. You got to answer my question. Okay, now, see, y'all can never find anything when it's not in Charlie's favor, right? You guys do. You said I'm uninformed, and you're not aware of that clip. You're not aware of his stance on Trayvon Martin. Latoya Jackson said, what state are you in? Right now, I'm in West Virginia. I'm traveling. I'm in West Virginia. Patriot Watcher, take 2 minutes, go to Twitter, go to Instagram, or go to YouTube and type in Charlie Kirk on Trayvon Martin. It's been going viral all week. Do that, come back, and then answer the question. I understand. See, I like to study psychology, right? So I try to get in people's head and figure out why they do what they do, why they think what they think. From what I'm gathering, a lot of the dominant society, they're listening to Charlie and they're hearing certain things that he's talking about and they believe every word. Charlie never talked about a lot of shit that he should have talked about. And that's why he doesn't have any respect with me. Now, instead of talking about the crime stats in the black community, right? And how we commit all this crime, he should have talked about who had the highest statistics when it comes to certain heinous crimes. I'm talking about incest. I'm talking about rape. I'm talking about child molestation. Who has the highest statistics? Who? Nobody wants to talk about that. Mindy Alexander said, "What was the psychology behind the Africans selling their own children as slaves to the European and Muslims created in this problem in the first place?" Well, let me tell you, Mindy. See, this is the thing. You guys always want to come in here and talk about Africans sold. But the thing is, your ancestors purchased. Now, the Africans, most of the, in Africa, they were not running around chopping people's heads off and guillotines and just evil motherfuckers. Africans stood on some sort of spiritual, system. So when the people got there, they got they got fooled. There was a lot of deception involved. Africans were not used to that level of deception that your ancestors implemented. You understand? So the Africans were very wrong. They were extremely wrong in selling us, okay, or my ancestors. But at the same time, the people that purchase people, they're wrong too. Nobody's wronger than the other one. The people that bought the people, the slaves, what they did after they purchased slaves was so horrendous. It doesn't even matter where they got these slaves from. What happened in America to black people under slavery was so horrendous. And what they're trying to do now is erase all this because they're ashamed, as they should be. But fuck who sold who. How about when the 3%, see, you gotta understand, only 3% of Africans ended up, 3 to 6% Africans ended up here from the slave trade. Some went to South America, but only 3 to 6% ended up on this land. There were already black indigenous people on this land. And we mixed in with the 3% that came from Africa. Do y'all understand that? David said Trayvon Martin attacked Zimmerman when approached for casing out homes. No, he was in his neighborhood. See, this is another lie. Number one, Trayvon was right by his dad's house, okay? It was right by his dad's house. So you told a lie, sir. He wasn't casing out homes. He was a 17-year-old. Who cases out homes with iced tea and Skittles in their hand? Who does that? Listen, I know y'all got this thing where young black men are like big monsters and they're very scary to you, but who cases out homes with snacks in their hand? Cordy said, have you heard the new Mobb Deep song? Yeah, I fuck with that. I fuck with that new Mobb Deep song. Mendy said, worldwide black people. Bet you wasn't expecting that, was you? I don't know what that means, sweetheart. I don't know what that means. Drobe said there are still slaves in Africa right now. Why don't you go to Africa and fight the freedom? Because I'm on my homeland. I'm not an African, sir. What is going on in your homeland? Where's your homeland? Is it Ireland? Is it Italy? Where are you from? Where's your ancestors from? When did they get here? My ancestors built the country. So I don't know what you mean. Go to Africa. I mean, come on, man. Scotty said, I mean, anyone can case a home with snacks in their hand. We won't even address that because you know you're lying, and we not even gonna get that much energy. You dig? Donald said, when are you going to personally get over slavery? What about black men killing black men? Why aren't you upset? Well, to answer your first question, when will I get over slavery? Maybe when they cut checks for reparations, when they actually make right what they did wrong. And then the second thing is, what about black men killing black men? Why aren't you upset? Well, first of all, I have many videos on the crime in a certain part of the black community. Now, why aren't you upset about the white man who shot 5 police officers this week? Killed 3 police officers. We don't do that, sir. We don't have a track record of doing that. These officers were simply serving him a warrant, and he came through the cornfields and shot 5 officers. 3 officers won't make it home to their family because of this young Caucasian man, 24 years old. What about the white on white crime with Charlie Kirk, the white man who killed Charlie Kirk? Why aren't you mad about that? What are you going to do about that? Well, he asked, so I told. I don't even want to talk about reparations. Y'all always cry and whine. Y'all always cry and whine because y'all know one day reparations will come. It is coming. All right, so y'all know that, right? So y'all know y'all got a deep-seated fear that we're going to get reparations. But don't worry, we're not trying to overpower you. We don't have the spirit that the racists have. See, the racists have an ugly, nasty, evil spirit where they want to subjugate people. Racists always want to subjugate people, and they want people to be under them, right? And they want to have the power. We don't care about that. We fought for equality. That's what we fought for. And we fought for equality for a long time. We have a track record of fighting for equality. Let me ask the racists in the comments, when does the racist community have a track record of fighting for equality? Go. When? Somebody tell me when somebody tell me when the racists in your community have fought for equality. Anybody? I'll answer that for you. Never. Never. They actually fought against equality. They fought to keep people enslaved. They fought to keep black kids and white kids from going to the same school. They fought to keep black people from drinking out of water fountains. You dig? XQCC. What subject did I change? You see, it's different questions coming in the chat, right? D. Hooligan said, America breeded slaves. Yes, sir, you are correct. The forefathers of this country, they had breeding farms where they would breed black people. You dig? And somebody asked me, when will I stop talking about it? Never. I'll never stop talking about this shit. Because what was done on this land was so horrible that I think nobody should ever forget. They used black babies as alligator bait. How could we ever forget about something like that? Chuck says, I can tell you how refreshing it is to hear your sensible responses to these crybabies. Yeah, it's a lot of crybabies. I appreciate you, homie. Thank you, man. It's a lot of cry. Y'all hit the like button for me, man. It's a lot of crybabies in this comment. And the thing is, I'm starting to realize why they say what they say. They know the reality. They know the truth. But they say the same thing. They say victim. They say nobody's paying you. They say you're begging. They say the same shit every time because they really don't want to come out and say, you know what, man, our forefathers fucked up. They did some nasty stuff. I think we need to make it right with our foundation on black American brothers. Rackus said, can I ask you a legitimate question? Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Rackus. Well, no, we're demanding a check. We're demanding reparations. Okay, it's the difference between begging and demanding. You see, I'm good money. I got everything I need. You dig? Billy Boy said, "I will never vote for reparations. Too many generations past that." No problem. Nobody's asking for your vote, sir. Who asked for your vote? Rival said, "Everyone else got some form of reparations." Yes, they did. Even the Irish for their little indentured servitude, because they weren't enslaved, they were just indentured servants. The slave owners got reparations. You dig? It's a long list of people who got reparations. Mojo Penn said it was horrible and I would never agree to it, meaning anything other than horrible. Let's go to the source of the problem. Africans selling Africans. No, that's not the source. The source of the problem is not Africans. Y'all always deflect. See, it's this thing going around now where everybody's acting like Obama brought racism back. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You're victim blaming. Obama was a victim of really nasty racism. Okay? Blaming Africans for selling. A lot of those Africans were deceived. Okay? They didn't know how deceitful the world could be. They was in Africa chilling, you know what I'm saying, living life. They didn't know about this shit going on. People from these cold places, these mountains where people were eating each other, where it's cold and nasty and dark. And they didn't know this type of spirit. They didn't know nothing about this shit. Okay? And then the slave owners, the people who wanted to buy the slaves, the greedy, evil, hateful people, they showed up and said, hey, let's get some of those slaves. You dig? How are they not the problem? How are you skipping past those people and blame the people who were offered money, offered guns, offered knives, offered gold, whatever they was offered? You got to understand, the religion was a big piece of that too. There's a saying, right? When the settlers got to Africa, I'm going to try to get this right. When the settlers got to Africa, Africans had the gold, the settlers had the Bible. When the settlers left Africa, they had the gold and the Africans had the Bible. You understand? This is deception. The same deception is going on today with this fake Christianity that y'all practicing. All of a sudden, and I find this to be comical, all of a sudden, America is this God-fearing country that practices Christianity. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. No, we tell nothing but truth over here. I know y'all don't like it. I know you can't handle it, but you're going to have to just, do your research, man. John T said it's not the auto manufacturer's fault for your defective car. It's your fault for buying it. Listen, let's use the analogy today. If you were riding down the street, and this is a nasty analogy, I'm not going to say it outright because it's so nasty, but if you were riding down the street, and a lot of y'all do, a lot of the racists, y'all partake in human trafficking. I wish Charlie Kirk would have put some of those stats out. So, a lot of y'all be riding down the strip, right, looking for some hoes, right? We know a lot of y'all racists in the chat. Y'all like to go see Strawberry and them. Let's keep it real. So y'all go down the street, you see a prostitute on the street, and she got some young people with her. Who would be wrong if they bought all of the people out on the strip? Would you say, well, she sold me the pussy? Like, this is how y'all sound right now. Y'all sound idiotic. Timothy Jackson said, go ahead and get them stats. I want you guys, this is a homework for y'all. I want you all to look up the stats, the statistics of grape, the grapers, incest. Who has the highest stats of grape, incest, molestation? Who has those stats? Why didn't Charlie Kirk talk about those stats? Anybody? Cypher, what it do, homie? Big shout out to you, homie. John Jr. said everyone involved. Yes, thank you, John. Everybody involved would be accountable, right? Right. Why you think P. Diddy is in jail? Diddy is in jail because he bought some prostitutes. Okay? The prostitutes are not in jail. Y'all understand that? The firm that contracted the prostitutes, they didn't get a RICO. One person got a RICO. That was Sean P. Diddy Combs. He got a RICO for purchasing sex workers. You dig? Smokey Mountain said, you speaking truth they can't handle. Now, they can't handle this shit, dog. All they can do is make insults. Listen, I'm supposed to debate a racist tomorrow on my channel. I'm thinking it's about 6 o'clock if he can make it. So y'all tune into that. Make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna put belt to his ass. You dig? I'm gonna bring him on the show and I'm gonna spank his ass real good. You dig? Tyler Coates said, bet he wins. Like, the debate didn't even happen yet. You don't even know who he is. This is what I mean, man. Like, I'm really learning the psychologists of these racist people. Y'all just say shit. Y'all just say shit and you think that everybody should go along with it. You dig? Cypher said, we all gotta get on the same page and eat the rich. I agree, homie. I agree with that. I agree with that. Rockets, why you ain't ask your question, homie? No Reply said, these statistics reflect all types of abuse, and data on molestation specifically is more limited. However, the figures point to a higher reporting of blah. Oh, God. Come on, man. Listen, I already read the statistics, homie. The statistics are out, all right? I'm going to bring them on tomorrow, too. You dig? No, you can't do that, bro. You know, Charlie Kirk said, he said, black people commit more crime. This is word for word. He said, black people commit more crime than white people. Now, stop right there. That is a lie right there. All right? That is a lie. And the reason why that's a lie, French Sosa said, R.P. Charlie Kirk. Did you mean to spell it like that, homie? Anyway, shout out for the super chat. Charlie Kirk said black people commit more crime than white people. Right there, that is a problematic statement. Right now, all kind of crimes are being committed. Right? Somebody's in their house with an illegal firearm. Somebody is in their house, unfortunately, abusing their spouse. We don't know. You cannot measure, okay? You cannot measure who does more crime. You dig? You just can't do it. So him making that idiotic statement just showed you the propaganda that he was pushing. You dig? No, you can't. Christ is King said you can. You cannot. And see, a name like Christ is King, that's why I'm so glad I'm not a Christian. Brandon said, but who gets arrested more? We know who gets arrested more. And now let me tell you why people get arrested more. We've always gotten arrested more. Before rap music, before crack cocaine, we always got arrested more. And why? Because we were always criminalized. You drink out of a water fountain that was white only, you go to jail. If you whistle at a white woman, you go to jail or get hung from a tree. We're always targeted. We've always been targeted more than anybody else. You understand that? Big shout out to my man Terrence Dawkins, man. What it do, homie? Yes, even to this day, we're profiled more, right? And not to mention, we have the highest exoneration rate. We're exonerated more than anybody, meaning we go to jail for crimes that we did not do. Nicholas Cobb said, 8 years of an almost black president, y'all still talking about racism. I'm glad you said almost black. But what does that mean? A black president, what does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? That means nothing. You must not understand what racism is. Drobe said, "Stop talking about the past. Move on. Better yourself." I'm better, Holmes. Like I can't get no motherfucking better. But the thing is, you don't like when we talk about this. Why is that? Why don't you like us talking about the past? Listen, we never forget, man. Isn't this what y'all told us with 9/11? To never forget, right? We should never forget. On 4th of July, should we tell y'all to move on? That was a long, long time ago. That was in 1776. Should we do that? No, we don't do that. Come on, man. C. Brown, what it do? Pele the pup said, "What's the modern day racism, bro?" I mean, I will be here all fucking day. Let's go back to P. Diddy. Let's talk about P. Diddy. I'm gonna give you an example of racism right now. I'm gonna give you an example of white supremacy right now, and you're gonna deny it and deflect. We already know, but I'm to the people that's in the chat listening. All the black folks that thought Charlie Kirk was saying something smart. Listen, I'm gonna give you proof of white supremacy and oppression today. Because one thing they like to say is, there's so many black millionaires and billionaires. No, there's no racism. P. Diddy is locked up right now in a federal jail cell for buying prostitutes after offering a $50 million bail package. He's sitting in a prison right now for a charge that holds 5 years. All he did was buy sex workers. Purchase. The sex workers didn't even get charged. That is a beautiful sign. That is a sure enough sign to show you that racism is alive and well. Because that's not lawful. They should have let him out on bail. Everybody knows that. He should have got a bail. You dig? Terrence Dawkins says, "Should we move on about this Kirk situation because it happened in past tense?" Yeah, I think we should. I think we shouldn't talk about that white on white racism. I want to know how the racist guys in the chat feel. How do y'all feel about that white on white racism? That white on white racism has destroyed America more than anybody in Chicago. Okay? You understand? These school shootings, these mass shootings, this is the shit that's fucking the country up. Look at the guy who shot at Trump. What color was he? Does anybody know what color he was? The people that killed the Democratic politicians a couple months ago, were they black? No. We got Unabomber. We got people, the marathon bomber. We have Timothy McVeigh. Don't ever talk to us about violent people, okay? James Arnold said Charlie suffered during his last moments. I don't believe he did. I think that shit took him straight out, man. Crisis King says, "Stop embarrassing black folks." I'm not. Listen, the type of black people you're probably around are the people that want to be accepted. Okay, I'm not one of those people. I speak my mind. I don't care to be accepted from black people, white people, Asian people. I don't give a fuck who. I say what I gotta say. You dig? Ethan Broom said, "Feel bad for the black people with brains listening to this dumbass." I know you do. Because, listen, I know you've been given a more sanitized version of America. And I totally understand where you're coming from. You've been given a more sanitized version of America. And your parents probably closed your eyes to the reality. Just like they're doing now. They don't want to talk about this. They don't want statues to remind them how degenerate their ancestors were. They don't want to talk about these things, you dig? Colorado Hunter said, "If you don't want to be accepted, then stop talking about stupid What? That ain't make sense, homie." Old Button Face says, "This guy's making sense." I appreciate you, homie. Colin West says, "You hate America while you here." Who said? I love my country. I'm a foundational black American. You understand? My ancestors built this country. You dig? So I love my country. Don't get it fucked up. See, you guys form narratives. You just say shit. Nobody said nothing about hating America. Frenchie Sosa, what you do? You dig? My ancestors built this shit, dog. Like, I love America. We are the real Americans. We're the real patriots. We practice liberty and justice for all, not just for one group. You dig? Trap Rich TV, what it do? See, you guys, you swear you're patriots. I'm talking about the racists. You guys swear you're racist, but you only want the goodies for you and your little group. You only want the power. You want the all the perks of white supremacy. You're not the real patriots. We are. You dig? And not only us, but other people, Caucasians and Asians that want justice for all. Those are real patriots, not the racists in the comment. James Arnold said a transgender was involved in this crazy love affair. I don't believe that shit for a minute. Y'all will buy anything that they sell, y'all. I don't buy that shit. The Ruining Maniac said opinion about Greece. I don't have any opinion about Greece. I sure would like to visit one of those beautiful villas that I see online. Anthony Reed said, you have never worked a job in your life. That's dumb as shit. John Jr., I appreciate you, homie. Yeah, we tell the truth over here, man. Pelly the Pup says, what do blacks go through that other minorities don't? Oh, shit, that's a great question. Listen, let me explain something to y'all. And I talk about it all the time. See, I don't like the term minority, all right? Because we're foundational black Americans. We even go through racism and discrimination with other black people. And shout out to my good Africans, shout out to my good Jamaicans and Haitians and all that. Y'all know I salute y'all. But typically, there are foreigners that come over here. They're told not to hang around black Americans. They even have terms for us. They'll call us bullet bags. That particular name comes from like East Africa, like Somalia. The Somalians, they're very famous for calling us bullet bags. Africans call us akatas, right? Jamaicans call us yanks. Not all of them, but enough. So when you ask the question, what do we go through that other minorities don't? Other minorities, when they come over here, they get all kind of programs and goodies and set-asides. Why do you think they try and bring them over here? They try to bring all the immigrants over here, especially the Mexicans. Shout out to my Mexicans. But as a whole, a lot of Mexicans are racist against black Americans. You go up in that federal penitentiary, you can't sit next to a Mexican, okay? They'll cut your fucking throat. It's always a war. When you go to these prisons, the Mexicans, their allies are white supremacist gangs. You dig? So we get it from every angle. I'm just using prison as an example. James Arnold said, did Charlie father those children? I don't know what that means. Tony said, Charlie lives on in us, all of us. Yeah. I can see by the derogatory comments in my chat. Charlie, you're right. Charlie lives on in the heart of all these racist motherfuckers. You dig? The chat is showing us who Charlie taught, and he taught them well, okay? His dog whistles. See, Charlie was a dog whistler. So he can say something, and if you look in this chat, this is what it translates into. You dig? 999 World said Charlie was not racist. Okay. Why do you think there's a great portion of America saying that Charlie Kirk was racist? Why do you think we just woke up and just wanted to lie about that? You think we just woke up and said, hey, man, see, I've known about Charlie Kirk for 5 years. A lot of y'all just clicked on and started watching Charlie Kirk's clips. But I've known about dude, and I know him from being a racist. Okay, but like I said in the beginning of the video, he was dog whistling, y'all. You understand? Charlie was being set up to be the next president or a president in the future, and he probably would have made it until dude sat on that roof and turned his TV off. You dig? He probably would have been president, but Charlie wasn't gonna come out and say, I want to subjugate black people. He's not gonna come out and say I hate black people or fuck niggas. He's not gonna do nothing like that. He had to remain clean. He was a covert white supremacist. That's what he was. Dark Corner said, no more talking. He didn't even go to college. Not possible. What's not possible? Dog, Donald Trump is the president with 30-something felonies. Don't talk to me about what's possible. See, white supremacy will make a way for anything to be possible if they want it. Pele the Pup says, so how can racism be abolished today? Listen, I don't think this shit is ever going nowhere. I was at the dinner table with my family, right? My son is mixed. And he told me, I said, dog, why you don't hang with such and such no more? And he said, Dad, because he uses the N-word. So these people's parents are teaching them this shit. These people's parents are running around saying racist shit at home, and they're raising racist kids. Y'all know it's the truth because y'all know y'all be at home talking about F that N-word. Y'all know it's the truth. You dig? So people keep telling us stop talking about it. How can I stop talking about it when my kid is telling me that one of his friends is running around saying the N-word, not with the A? What's bullshit? What's bullshit? Hank said, y'all be saying F Whitey too. What is this, 1970? Who the fuck says F Whitey? Who says that, dog? Who? This ain't 1970, dog. Bill said, damn, as an older white dude, I wish this racist shit would go away. But it's as strong now as it's ever been in my lifetime. Keep teaching, brother. Bill, salute to you, homie. Now, people like that, people like us, we're gonna fix the world. You dig? Cookie said it will only increase, especially after this Charlie Kirk death. There are about to be 1,000,001 Charlie Kirks around here. You dig? Why would that be problematic if he wasn't a racist? Why would that be problematic? Why would people be in the chat saying racist things if Charlie Kirk, your man, was such a loving Christian? If you were following Charlie Kirk and he was such a great Christian man, you will be quoting scripture. You will be saying loving, healing things. But you're not. You ain't here practicing your racism. Charlie would be proud. You dig? Manny, shout out to you, homie. Erica said having a trust fund is the only thing that'll save you. Somebody said both sides are wrong. Let me say this, y'all. Let me say this, and I mean this with all sincerity. Chicago is not the problem with America. Single mother homes is not the problem with America. Rap music is not the problem with America. The problem with America is white supremacy. Right now, you got the Democrats and the Republicans fighting over who is going to be the top white supremacist. You understand? This is the problem. This left-right shit is the problem with America. And it's going to fuck all of us over. Meanwhile, you got Hank the fucking Tank in the chat talking about, what about Chicago? Like, wake the fuck up, man. Wake up. Are you stupid? Like, Somebody, if somebody got shot in Chicago 5 minutes ago, it has nothing. You don't even know. It has nothing to do with you. But that white boy Tyler killed Charlie Kirk. Now the whole world is divided. The whole country is divided like never before. You dig? Murray said moral supremacy is also an issue. Well, you can put that under white supremacy because there's no morality in white supremacy. You dig? Hazel says Chicago is its own problem. You got people in Florida talking about, what about Chicago, dude? Motherfucker, they're not bothering you. If you want to know how I feel about the crime that goes on in certain parts of the black community, did y'all see how I worded that? See, if Charlie would have worded it like that, I wouldn't be on his fucking neck. No pun intended. I said, I'm going to say it again, the crime that goes on in certain parts of the black community. See, Charlie said black people are violent. That's what he said. That's what he pushed. Black people sleep around. You understand? I got videos on my page talking about some of the violence that goes on in certain parts of the black community. Do you understand that? As Jonathan said, protect your neck, pun intended. Another Jonathan said it's in their culture. See, this is what I'm saying. Do y'all see what Charlie Kirk taught? That it's in our culture. See, in black culture, you have many different layers. Unfortunately, the destructive part of black culture is the one being pushed and monetized. So you see it all day on your damn algorithm. Because typically, y'all want to see this shit. This is what y'all love to talk about. If we weren't here, y'all would have been killed each other. You know that? Y'all don't promote or push when a young black kid graduates college early. Y'all don't promote the positive stuff. Charlie Kirk didn't highlight the positive stuff that goes on. You dig? Charlie told half the truth, and that's why I don't respect him. He told half the truth, and he denied oppression. He denied the past. He said, why can't y'all get y'all shit together? Motherfucker, are you stupid? Y'all put crack cocaine in the neighborhood. Are you fucking dumb? He said, y'all been free for 122 years. Why couldn't you get yourself together? Do you understand the way the psychological slavery impacted black people? I want to tell y'all something real quick. We grew up in a country that hated us. That hated us so much they would hang us from trees. That hated us so much that little girls couldn't go to school in a white school. Hated us so much that they said we were 3/5 of a human being. You don't think some of that hate was internalized? And we started to hate ourselves. Certain parts of the community started to hate themselves. You don't think redlining, where they pushed black people to the country in ghettos and shit, where they couldn't live next to y'all, you don't think that affected groups of people? Why would he make a statement like, well, why couldn't you get your shit together? That was a rhetorical question. If Charlie was so brilliant like he said he was, he knows the answer to that. He knows the answer to why Chicago is the way it is. Chicago has always been like that. Al Capone, that's gangster central. That's gangland. It's always been gangland. Y'all idolize Al Capone. I can go to a restaurant and I can see Al Capone on the wall. That's like us putting King Von on the fucking restaurant wall. King Von is not loved in our community. He's loved in the youth. Maybe the youth love him for his music and his image. But my grandmother don't give a fuck about King Von. My father would hate King Von. But y'all love Goodfellas. Y'all love goddamn Casino. These are classic movies in your home. Gilbert said, you idolize gangster rap. I don't idolize shit. I love gangster rap. I don't idolize shit. You idolize gangster movies, right? Yes, I love New Jack City. I'm admitting it. You're not going to admit it, sir. That's the difference between me and you. I'm honest, you're not. You like to deflect. Warm and Natty said, I don't either. Damn, Vaughn. All the YNs, too. Yeah, listen, black society does not co-sign crime. You understand? Tupac has a song called Letter to the President. And it goes, Dear Mr. President, tell me what to do. These N-words are acting up in the hood. Send more troops. Then Tupac has an interview where he talks about him not liking crime, him needing protection in his community because he doesn't like crime. You think all black people like crime? Yes, you do. We know you do because Charlie was putting this out into the universe. Trey been lied to for a long time. No, Trey, that doesn't work here, sir. I did the homework, I did the research. I've been on this earth for 44 years. I've been doing the math since I was a kid. Me and my homies, we used to get in trouble for not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. That's the type of kid I was. You dig? We grew up on Public Enemy. I know the goddamn history. You understand? You can't, that shit don't work over here. That new revised shit that y'all trying to do, it will not work on Topflyght TV. You dig? Colin West said, black never called out black race, because there's no black racism. There's no black systematic racism, okay? There's no black systematic racism. The only thing a black person can do to you is call you a name. That's it. But what Charlie Kirk can do as a racist is he can formulate narratives. He can influence legislation to get passed. He can influence millions of homes into thinking black people ain't shit. That's real racism. You dig? SA said, I'm just trying to figure out who made us start using crack. What do you trying to be like sarcastic? Listen, because y'all have no empathy. I get it. I totally understand. Y'all have no empathy unless something really happens to y'all or one of your racist buddies. If you go to the 1980s, right? They already had heroin in the neighborhood. But if you go to the 1980s, into these impoverished neighborhoods or low income neighborhoods, and you introduce this drug called crack. Why do you think crack got to the black neighborhoods and cocaine went to the white neighborhoods? You introduced this thing called crack. They even showed people how to cook it up at UCLA. You understand? That's like saying, I wonder how we started drinking beer. I wonder how we started smoking weed. Like, come on, man. Jonathan said, because it's cheap. Yeah, because it's cheap. They knew it. It was by design, y'all. It was cheap. Edwin said the United States needed money. Yeah, they needed money. Absolutely. They needed money to fund the war. I get that. They killed two birds in one stone. We gonna keep these niggas mentally enslaved, right? And we gonna buy our guns. And we gonna get all this money from locking people up, right? JJ said that's how black on black violence started, because we internalized that hatred. And I don't even like the term black on black violence, because you never hear the term white on white violence or Mexican on Mexican violence. They definitely didn't use it when Charlie got his TV turned off. They didn't say white on white violence. So if that was two black people, they have a field day with this shit. But yeah, listen, the slavery was more than physical. And Charlie Kirk knew that. Charlie Kirk knew that slavery was more than physical. And if he didn't know that, he's not as brilliant as y'all say he is. It was a mental thing. It was a spiritual thing. It was a hereditary thing. You dig? Brad Jr. said human violence. I like that better. Well, people do crime and commit violence against people that they're in close proximity to. You dig? So that's like a no-brainer. That shit is like falling apart. I don't know why people keep running with this narrative, man. I know because it's comfortable, makes you feel good. Charlie made y'all feel good. You ever talk about somebody to make yourself feel better, to make your self-esteem feel bigger? I have. I can't say I really have, but there's a thing where people say don't talk about somebody else to make you feel big and better. That's all Kirk was doing. He was deflecting from white supremacy. He never talked about white on white violence. 5 police officers killed last week by one white man. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. SA, shout out for the super chat, homie. You said my aunt and uncle were crackheads for years. Nobody forced them. The problem is lack of accountability. You still don't understand, homie. You still don't get it. Of course, nobody forced them. Let me tell y'all something about the crackheads. And I want you to go ask your aunt and uncle or ask the crackhead in your neighborhood. Ask him, when crack got to the neighborhood, did they know the ramifications it would have? Any crackhead to tell you, it was like, y'all know how ecstasy, when we got ecstasy back in the day, they didn't know that shit was that addictive. When we got ecstasy, it was just a new drug. Oh shit, let me get that. It was a party drug. That's what crack cocaine was. You understand? They didn't know that there was this beast. They didn't know it was a fucking beast like that. So that, you gotta have some more understanding and empathy, you dig? Bone 55 says, Jesus didn't save Charlie. He sure didn't. He sure the hell didn't. When did Charlie say white on white? Now y'all pulling shit out your ass. Sleek said, listen, I don't disagree about the things that you're trying to implement, but you got to be a better man. These youngsters listen to this stuff and they're going to be hating. I don't know what you mean. I hope they are hating. I hope they are mad. I hope people are listening. You dig? Aunt Jen said Charlie was not a good human being. Yeah, let me ask y'all, why is everybody on here acting like dude was such a good man, dog? When we got several clips circulating about how he talked trash about people all the time. Why is he being held as an American hero when his claim to fame is degrading other people? Jonathan said, mourn Charlie or lose your job. That's sad. That's sad. Aunt Jen said they needed a martyr and they got him. Yeah, let me tell you, Aunt, listen, I think that was a part of this this whole ordeal. I think that they got him out of here because what you see right now, they wanted a new martyr. I believe that. Wesley said he never talked trash. No, he did, and he lied. We caught him in many, many lies. He did. A-Dot said, if you hate the people you hate, then you'll do the same things those people will do. Rest in peace to those racists too. Yeah, listen. We already understand why people love his rhetoric. We already understand. It made them feel good. It made them feel real warm inside. You dig? Javier said, what lies? I just told y'all, go listen to the playback. But all you're going to do is deny it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I didn't see that. Y'all real famous for that shit. Man like Bango said his own folks pushed his wig back. Yes, they did. A black man didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was shot in Chicago. He wasn't shot in Chicago. He was shot in Utah amongst his own. You dig? Great Rod said a liberal did. There they go with that liberal shit. He's still a white supremacist, dog. You dig? Y'all know they found the Tyler's, he was a white supremacist as well. They said he was with the Gropers. Y'all got so many different white supremacist organizations. It's sad. The Gropers. Tyler was a Groper. So I told y'all in the beginning of the video, man, white supremacy is gonna kill this country. You dig? Wonderful Me said, everyone keep talking about that dude. I never heard of them until the shooting happened. Groipers, yeah, whatever the fuck that weird shit is. There's a bunch of weird shit going on. Weird little white supremacists. They got so many groups, dog. They got this shit called the base. They got some shit called the accelerationists, the accelerators. Like, these people really want to cause harm in this country. We don't have that shit. Meanwhile, y'all worry about Chicago. But it's real hate groups out here. And they not going to Chicago to kill nobody. They going to your son's school. You dig? They going to kids, toddler schools. But y'all too busy talking about black folks. Hilarious. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. When are y'all gonna start focusing on these terrorists, these domestic terrorists? When y'all gonna focus on that? Fish said black folks are going to their schools too. You know, that's a damn lie. You have never seen a black boy or man just walk into a random place and start chopping people down that didn't do nothing to them. We have at least 100 incidents. We got the movie theater. Y'all remember the movie theater dude? He walked in there with a bunch of people that he didn't even know. At least there's a reason for so-called black crime. At least they beefing over something. You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes is going into goddamn elementary schools. You understand? We don't have that type of heart. We don't have that type of spirit, dog. Colin West said the knockout game. He's comparing the knockout game to mass shootings at schools, in churches. Like, shit, get the fuck out of here. Livy said, when a school shooting happens, nobody is asking were they black. Not at all. Ever. 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 Never. Thank you, Livy. Thank you. Manhattan said, and you support the knockout game. You see how they twist people's words? Who the fuck said I support the knockout game? I said he's trying to compare it. Like, y'all are so deceptive. Matthew Kahn said, why are school shootings so prominent in the States? That's a great question. Let me tell you why. I got the answer for you. The reason why school shootings are so prominent in the States is because online there are a bunch of white supremacist hate groups, and they are influencing and they are birthing school shooters every day. And these school shooters are so frustrated with the government, they're so frustrated with Jews and niggas, that they go into schools and hit innocent people. They go into churches and movie theaters and they plant bombs. You dig? That's why. It's a white on white thing, man. And it has to stop. It's really tearing up the country. And y'all know it's true. Y'all just don't want to look in the mirror, man. And it's sad. It's very sad. Colin West said, you scared. I'm scared of what? No, that's it. Every one of the mass shooters have a weird little manifesto. Talk about how much they hate minorities, if you will. They write little weird shit on their weapons. Engraved bullets like some weirdos. They always got a manifesto. They all got a long history of traffic on 4chan and all these other white supremacist websites, the dark web. Come on, man. A lot of that knockout game shit, that was just propaganda too. Let's be real. A lot of that knockout game shit, that was propaganda, dog. Yeah, a bunch of fucking weirdos, man. Hey, I'm pissed. I'm mad at the world. I hate black people. I'm gonna go to the school next to my house and I'm going to go chop people down. I'm such a fucking idiot. And then other, to be honest, other young racist white men are inspired by that. Do y'all know that? Do y'all know when Dylan Roof, you know Dylan Roof is a hero amongst the white supremacist community? Do y'all know that? At least when somebody gets shot in a black neighborhood, most of us, we learn, like, damn, dude killed cuz, he going to prison for life? Ah, shit, that's bad. But these young white supremacists, they hailed them as heroes for killing toddlers. You dig? This shit is nasty work, man. Javier said, get on a debate platform. Let's have a conversation instead of this lame dynamic. Come on tomorrow. I'm supposed to debate somebody tomorrow. I'm supposed to debate somebody tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna bring people on. I want to talk to people. I want people to say their perspective so I can put belt to ass. That's all. It's very easy work. Very easy work. Yeah. So y'all make sure y'all show up if y'all want. I don't really care one way or another. Manhattan said, we're not all racist. We just want you to not be racist and stop promoting. What the fuck? Crazy? Yeah. Whoever wants to step up to the plate, listen. See, the thing is, when I get on StreamYard, it doesn't get pushed into the algorithm. So I always go on my phone. But if anybody wants to debate, go in the comments, leave your email, and I will contact you, and you can come get some of this work. It's really nothing. Man, like Bango said, enough sensitive snowflakes in the comments. Dog, these are the new snowflakes, dog. They're reporting people's pages. They have a database to where they're gonna get people fired from their job. I thought these was the tough motherfuckers. What happened? What the hell happened, man? Daniel said, you won't debate anyone with common sincerity. That's a projection. Timothy said, are you one of those master debaters? No, I'm not a master debater. I'm just not scared to tell the truth. You dig? I'm just not scared to tell the truth. You dig? I'm not a debater. I'm not a scholar. I'm just a man that has a little bit of information. I can't open the live right now. How am I opening the live on my phone? Edwin Fain, shout out to you, homeboy. You know we gotta stick together. You know what time it is, man. I've been running into brothers all day, and we've been clicking. What's up, brother? What's up, brother? What's up, King? Yeah, it's been going on. You know what I'm saying? Tom Hancock said, why don't you tell the truth on how harmful rap music is to the black community? I already got videos on my page about that. But check the difference out, Tom. I give all sides of the story. I don't just say rap music is harmful, because the reality is rap music is not harmful. Drill music and trap music and gangster music can be harmful. See, this is where Charlie fucked up. Charlie said we gotta stop listening to this degenerate hip hop music and get back to the music that built our country. That's how I know he wasn't intelligent, as y'all say he is. Number one, anybody that knows about black culture knows that hip hop is a very intelligent, uplifting art form. Charlie would have said, if he knew anything about black people, he'd have said drill music, trap music, or something like that. But he said hip hop. That was very strange. That was very strange. You dig? Charlie, I would have respected Charlie if he had some background in the black community. You could take one look at Charlie and tell he didn't grow up around black folks. He don't even know about black folks. That's why I couldn't respect it. Dude was just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see if he had, not Candace Owens, we're not talking about that coon. We're talking about if he had real background with real black people, knew about the black community, I would have respected his opinion. But you could tell that dude was just spitting propaganda. Listen, I gotta get to this video shoot. I'm out of here. I might see y'all tomorrow. Oh, I'm lying. Okay, no problem. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right, listen, I'm gone, y'all. Tapping tomorrow, 6 p.m., man. Hopefully, dude shows up, or one of y'all show up, so I can spank your bottom, man. Leave your email in the chat. I'm out of here.